track reviews. Track reviews.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for track reviews, where we talk about the latest in rock, pop, electronic, and experimental music of the independent persuasion. And in this episode, the indie rock and pop band, rather indie rock and pop giants, the Shins, have a new track out from their forthcoming album, Port of Morrow. It's going to drop in March, and it's been about 5 years since these guys have put out a full-length LP. Their last full-length album actually came out around the time I was finishing up college, and these guys kind of blew up fame-wise, partially thanks to the Garden State soundtrack, around the time when I started college. So I mean, I've been conscious of this band for a long time. I think they write some very likable and catchy songs, but they've never really showed off the bold personality I would need in order to, I guess, kind of get addicted to their music. Like opium. I can't really say anything terrible about any of the albums the Shins have released. I guess there are some songs on the releases that, in my opinion, are kind of generic. But if you were to put a Shins album on in my vicinity, I would probably like it. During that era of indie rock and indie pop where the Shins kind of blew up, I was just listening to and enjoying other bands like Interpol and Arcade Fire and Postal Service and Death Cab for Cutie and Modest Mouse and the Decemberists and Sufjan Stevens, as well as the Strokes of Montreal. I enjoy all those bands, but never really have been a big fan of the Shins, though I'm sure Cal Chester is. Nope, never really been on with it. But Cal Chester hates everything I love. I love the Shins. You know, even though I've never really been a huge Shins guy, I've never really even been into the side projects that they've dealt in over the years either. I just figured, why not try this song out? It might surprise me. You never know when a band is going to just start clicking with you, you know? And I have to say, this track, the first one to drop from Port of Morrow, Simple Song, was a nice surprise. It felt like a little bit of a change to me. The Shins on this track feel really loud, ambitious, almost arena-sized. These guys have put out their share of louder tracks and more eccentric tracks in the past, like Kissing the Lipless, but this particular song is definitely stretching for this Arcade Fire-sized indie rock anthem. It presents all these reverbed vocals and heavy rhythms, lyrics about just the ocean and the sun and fear. There are these escalating background vocals and just this pit orchestra, or what sounds like a pit orchestra, of rock instrumentation. And the verses have this really kind of Beach Boys, Brian Wilson kind of feel to them, from the way the vocals are performed to the melody that they sing and the rhythm behind all of it. It gives me a similar feel to a Beach Boys song too. It just kind of feels kind of young and liberating, like just riding your bike down the middle of the road, no handlebars, and the sun is shining on you and there's not a car in sight. It just feels really free. And the chorus on this track brings a really nice change into the mix too. This piano flies in, the rhythm changes, and the lyrics are really catchy, singing about going it alone. The chorus just really makes this song's uplifting factor increase tenfold. Still, I have to say overall, I don't feel like this song is as bold or as unique as I would like it to be. Part of me would rather just kind of listen to what influences this track instead. Even though I think the Shins do pull these influences together really well on this track, do blend this modern indie rock sound together with this very kind of... I might not be remembering this track by the end of the year, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And I'm definitely going to take a listen to the next album the Shins put out, but I'm not really anticipating any huge change in how I feel about the band's music. But what do you think about this track? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Why? And what do you think I should review next? Anthony Fantano, The Shins, Forever.